Welcome back to Reality One, the show where we demystify the cutting-edge world of augmented reality and explore how it's transforming the way we live, work, and play. I'm your host, Avraham Raskin, a seasoned spatial UX architect from Australia. Each episode, I take you on a journey to discover the limitless potential of augmented reality through simple day-to-day applications. So whether you're a tech enthusiast or simply curious about this game-changing technology, this podcast is for you. Join me as we delve into the world of AR, uncovering its secrets, exploring its possibilities, and learning how it's revolutionizing our world. So sit back, relax, and get ready to have your mind blown. This is Reality One, and I'm Avram. Let's get started. Today we're wrapping up in the home. I've got a couple more ideas that I wanted to share with you guys that I haven't yet fit into the last episodes. So this is what this episode is going to be about. First, imagine being able to add a window to any room in your house and see accurate lighting and different types of weather and seasons. We're going to explore the possibilities of this window AR concept. Next, we're going to dive into the world of entertainment and share some ideas for how AR can spice up your board games and TV viewing experiences. And finally, we'll show you how AR can transform your bookshelf, bringing your reading experience to life with features like Amazon reviews, audiobook versions, and even mini scenes that catch you up on your current read. Alrighty, let's get into it. Number one, the window. Imagine being able to add a window into any room of your house and see realistic lighting and different weather effects, regardless of the actual weather outside. So let's dive into this idea very quickly. We're going to start with visualizing this, right? We're sitting, let's call this the living room, but really you could be doing anything. You could be renovating your kitchen or just simply dreaming about the perfect bedroom. This experience, this AR experience could give you a realistic preview of what the finished product would look like. So think of this as kind of reductive AR. If we go back to the furnitures of the past, those were additive AR, where we were adding furniture into a room there wasn't. What happens if you walk into a room and you're thinking of opening up a little bit of space? You want to add a window. There's not enough light going on. You want to add something. Imagine if you could place a window, and through the power of AR, we actually visualize not just the outside world that you could see, your view, but how much sunlight would actually be coming through that window. And you could simulate different seasons, different times of the day, and really anything that you need to help make the decision of what kind of a window you want to add, how big it is, what it looks like. So we're going to look at tons of things where we can change the frame to really see how it fits in the room. We could tint up the window and see, hey, what if I apply a tint? How much light would come in and how would that change on how it looks and how it feels during different seasons and different times? You can probably feel a little bit more heat. That would take a little bit more technologies to actually kind of feel, get haptic feedback, or different technologies that could help you feel heat. That could be a cool addition into just the lighting. Maybe you have windows already. Think about boarding some of them up. So just like we could add windows, we could take away windows. We can completely get rid of the current windows and say, listen, scratch everything I have right now. Let's start with blank walls. So using AR, I could remove, delete any kind of windows that are there currently and put brand new ones. I could do floor to ceiling windows. But all this idea, I mainly want to focus on that concept of using augmented reality to show what that would look like when you're finished. So visualizing what something's going to look like at the end of the day is one of the toughest things in any project. And augmented reality can make something like that super simple. It can make something like that actually come to life. You're not sitting there looking at a bunch of different pictures. You're actually standing in the room, you're seeing the shape and things like that and feeling, right? Interacting with what would that look like? What would the lighting look like when I wake up in the morning? What would it look like at midday? What would it look like in the evening? and at night when everyone's gone to sleep, when it's dark outside? And what would that look like in different seasons, right? So during the summer, maybe the sun will pass right over. And at certain times of the day, I know it gets really hot. So as I'm making this project, I know, you know what, other rooms that I would normally be standing in, they get really hot at 2 p.m. So let me see what this would look like on a summer day, 2 p.m. Show me that simulation. Show me that visualization. While I'm standing in the room, I can simulate that exact experience and see what that's like. Number 2, board games and TVs that are more 3D than 3D. With AR technology, classic board games like chess and Monopoly could come to life with stunning 3D graphics, and interactive elements could add a whole new level of excitement and immersion. I don't like using AR for entertainment, but over here, there's some really cool ideas. So I'm going to dive into this. And you can see that these specific ideas that I'm sharing are working off physical things that we have in our spaces already. I'm not going entirely digital because generally speaking, entertainment, that's VR's area. That's where virtual reality is going to shine. So let's visualize this. You're about to sit down to a tabletop board game with some mates after dinner, and you want to play Monopoly. Imagine if once you take out the board, you don't have to pull out like statue-like figures. Imagine if those figures could be completely virtual, and as they move around, maybe they walk around, maybe the car can drive around. There's some character, there's some movements to these kind of things. And we're going to come back to chess after this, and you'll really see how we bring these together, especially with the Harry Potter chess set. So think about that as we go through Monopoly. When you build buildings, when you put up buildings or hotels, you could see those being constructed in front of you, right? So a lot of this is about the animation, the interactivity. So you start off again with a regular Monopoly board game, but all the elements on top of them could be enhanced with augmented reality. Think of maybe an entire city going up. And as we get more crazy, maybe people are moving through them, cars are going up. You know, as the city's being built, as you see that you're taking over more space, maybe we build up actual cityscapes around you, like mini virtual cityscapes that are lifelike, very, very lifelike. Think about the cash. That could be digital. So not necessarily is making digital cash the best idea, but it is one of those ideas that if you wanted to go digital, you don't have to count your money. Some people might like counting their paper money. But with augmented reality, that cash could go digital and we could see that piled up. We could see that being tracked for us. So those are some ideas around Monopoly. And just to come back to the Harry Potter chess set, if you remember, the whole chess set that they're playing, I believe this was it the first movie or the second movie, where the whole chess set was interactive, right? The pieces actually moved. They were lifelike. I mean, they were also huge. So that's another thing. But when a piece would kill another piece, there was an entire violent battle scene. It wasn't just like knocking over a piece. Think of that sense of immersion into real lifelike games. There are companies already that have started working on these kind of things. One in particular that I have over here is the Tilt 5 glasses. I'll share a link in the show notes. But there are other companies that are working on specific glasses that are specifically designed for tabletop games and things like that. Another idea could be battleships. So again, remember those realistic animations. Imagine if when you shoot a rocket, could be a little miniature lifelike rocket coming out of one of your ships. And as that rocket hits another battleship, you see the explosions, you see the destructions. Maybe you're out in the rough seas and that little virtual scene is happening right on top of your scene. These kind of things just, I don't know, when I think about them, they feel so cool. They feel like they would add a nice element to these games. The last one is maybe think of something simple. It doesn't have to be a complex games like Monopoly, chess, battleships, and so on and so forth. Think about 4 in a row, or even tic-tac-toe. Augmented reality could keep that score right next to the board with a very nice interface. Maybe we show you who wins the game. Maybe that line gets scratched in. I have seen concepts with tic-tac-toe and augmented reality, or I should say noughts and crosses. If I can find that video, I'll share that over here. You could see stats next to the game. So with augmented reality, I can see that information, who's likely to win. If you've ever watched poker tournaments or even chess games online, they'll show you on the side to the audience of who's more likely to win. Maybe we can have that kind of stats appearing next to the game that we're playing. Maybe we get AI recommendations of the next move to have. Obviously, you work this out with the opponent you're playing, or not even to mention that you could be playing a digital opponent. So 4 in a row, you might use a real board, but you could be playing against a digital opponent. Actually, that's a little bit hard because you need physical pieces. But all these think of these things like playing AI games, but instead of playing on a computer or a smartphone that we are used to playing already today in apps, imagine if you could be playing that on a board. So chess is actually one of those very good examples. It's very easy to play against a digital opponent, an AI, but using physical pieces, because your pieces could be physical that you're manipulating and you're moving around. But your opponent's pieces could be holograms and things that you see happening. So those interactions, or maybe all the pieces are fully holographic, they're fully virtual, but you're still controlling and explaining where your piece goes. But all that interactivity and things like that could be happening. So those were some ideas with board games. But with TV, imagine watching your favorite films on TV, your favorite shows or movies that can spill content out of the screen and into your bedroom. A concept video that I've seen is Disney's Remembering AR Experiences, where while you're watching certain movies, it's not just like 3D, where it seems like objects are popping out of the screen, but they're actually spilling out of your screen and into the surrounding environment. It starts utilizing the rest of your room, the floor underneath the screen, and the room all around you can become part of that scene, that entertainment. It doesn't have to just be limited to, the flat screen in your living room. And you could go pretty far with these kind of ideas. But I wanted to just touch on that very quickly because it's a concept. And again, I'll share that link below. Number 3, bookshelves. So let's visualize this. You're looking for a book to read. You walk into the living room or the dining room, looking for a bookshelf. You're trying to find either a book to read or a book that you're currently in the middle of. So you head to that bookshelf and you start scanning. With augmented reality, we can do tons of things over here. One of the things we could do is highlight all the books that you're in the middle of. So as you look into a bookshelf of hundreds of books, maybe 5 get highlighted and say, hey, you're actually currently in the middle of these books. Let's take them out and continue them. Maybe we could show you where you're up to. So as you look at a book, we could highlight or put a line or marker or something that shows you where in the book you're up to, physically where you're up to. Maybe we show you Amazon reviews. As you pull out that book, next to it, some Amazon reviews, you can see some stars pop up. You can tap on those stars and the Amazon reviews pop up and let you know, oh, how good is this book? This kind of thing is more like when you go to a library or something, to be able to get that digital content, that digital information. And there is a concept video a friend of mine has put out a couple of years ago, and I will try link up his video as well. We don't have to stop at just reviews. When you're looking at the title, maybe that title gets animated and becomes an actual scene that you're looking at. You could also, as you open up that book and start reading, graphs might pop out, or animations of things that you're up to could pop out next to the book that weren't included with that physical copy, could pop out next to it and help annotate and help augment your experience. Things that you might get only online. Here with augmented reality, we can bring that online experience and add that over here to the physical book. But it doesn't stop there, right? We said maybe we could show you where you're up to with a line or an arrow showing you physically on the book which page you're up to. But imagine if you could have mini scenes that come to life as you look at them, that might play out the whole book. Imagine a mini scene that actually shows you where you're up to, and it catches you up to that part of the book. So it doesn't just say, hey, remember you're on page 56, but an actual full-blown 3D scene jogs your memory a little bit. It provides a little bit of additional context for you before you get back into that juicy part of the story you're in the middle of reading. So I want to just add one more very, very quick idea, and that was security. Imagine seeing the CCTV of who's at the door. But imagine if you're in the living room, and when someone rings the bell, you could kind of crane your head back and look at the actual front door, which in reality you can't see through. But imagine if for augmented reality, it could make it look like the door disappears. And that video feed that you're seeing, when it gets fed to you, it looks like kind of like that door is transparent and you can see who's on the other side and interact with them almost as if there's no door between you, conversation. Now, there's more ideas with security around alerts and notifications in spatial, in space. Very, very easy, very natural using, but I will leave that for another episode. Thanks for tuning into Reality One. I hope you enjoyed some more of these amazing possibilities of augmented reality with me today. If you want to stay up to date with the latest episodes, don't forget to subscribe on whatever podcast catcher you're using. And you can also follow me on social media. I'm going to be adding more context and more ideas over there. And if you have any questions or suggestions for future episodes, please leave them down in the comment below, and I will do my best to read them all. Okay, that's all for today's episode. Next time, we're hitting the road and exploring the world of AR during the commute. Imagine having augmented reality in your Tesla, where you could see real-time traffic information, route suggestions, and even virtual objects projected onto the road ahead of you. It's a game changer, and you won't want to miss it. Alrighty, I'll see you guys in the future.